Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you know that fable? I think the Aesop fables, the ancient Greek guy who wrote the fables, and I think he wrote the fable of the turtle and the hare, the rabbit. Remember that the rabbit was much faster in the competition than the rabbit, than the turtle, but the turtle slowly won in the end. So it seems like Putin seems to be like the turtle in this case, and it seems like the United States of America and its dollar to be like the hare, like the rabbit. Fast enough, good enough, strong enough, but pays no attention, not focused on the real problems. And the other guy is just and then crosses the finish line first. So what happened now? Putin, in his craziness, he hits United States where it hurts, I think, the most, which is take them financial power by trying to destroy the dollar's dominance, hegemony, global hegemony. Now that's going to be a big problem for because we will have to produce something tangible. Like we can't, just give some people, some other countries, some numbers or some printed piece of paper, and those guys give us the produce. And they need that dollar because only with that dollar they can buy natural resources like oil, for instance. And they need oil. They all need oil. If if they don't need oil, that means they don't produce anything, kind of. So that's the scheme right here. Now, if those guys do not need a dollar to buy oil anymore, they don't have to sell to me only produce, so I can give him the dollar, the paper. I give him the paper, he give me the product. Now, if they're not going to sell me this unless I give them something back that they need, not services up and down, okay? Then, and if we don't produce anything, like Germany at one point said to the United States of America, I know who the hell said that. I think it was Trump or someone else said that Germany doesn't buy anything from us. And I think I can't remember who in the German government said, but there's nothing that you give us that we need from you. You have nothing that we need. So obviously it's an imbalance in our transactions, so we sell to you, we get your dollars, and we buy whatever we need, oil and so on. The problem is Putin hits them right there. And now he makes it clear for everyone to know and to hear it. Putin doesn't participate in the BRICS personally, in the BRICS summit in South Africa. So he showed up televised and he made this claim, among others. That's a little speech over there that he has. I'm not going to play the speech. I'm just going to look at this little article coming from Russia Today from the 22nd of August 2023. De-dollarization is irreversible. That's bad news for me personally, to a certain extent. And also it's a good thing because if there will be no dollar scheme, that means the United States has to start its manufacturing sector again, which is good because that means you become independent again. All right. But that means you have to start working. And with this society here that is used to money for nothing and checks for free, then I don't know. It's going to be a little dip in our life style. BRICS will become economically more powerful than G7, the Russian president said in an address to Johannesburg summit. The US dollar is losing its global role in an objective and irreversible process. End quote. The Russian president told participants at the BRICS summit in South Africa on Tuesday. Vladimir Putin spoke via video link after choosing not to attend the event in person. The dollarization is, and I'm quoting, gaining momentum, end quote. Putin declared, adding that the members of the group of major emerging economies are seeking to reduce their reliance on the greenback in mutual transactions. That's a fact. They're still growing. They're not that important, but they're still growing. We got some numbers here. The Russian leader claimed that 5 BRICS members, Russia, China, India, Brazil, and South Africa, are becoming the new world economic leaders, adding that their cumulative share of global GDP has reached 26%. He noted that if measured by purchasing power parity, BRICS has already surpassed the Group of Seven, leading industrialized nations, accounting for 31% of the global economy, compared to 30% for the G7. Over the past 10 years, mutual investment between the BRICS member states has increased by 6 times. Their total investments in the world economy have doubled, while cumulative exports accounted for 20% of the global total, Putin said. Moscow is focusing on reorienting its transport and logistic routes towards, and I'm quoting, reliable foreign partners, including BRICS members, to ensure an uninterrupted supply of energy and food to the international market. Russia's primary goals include developing the Northern Sea route that will surpass the other ones, that will fuck them up, let's put this straight, and the North-South transport corridor. Putin stated, the first passing through the Arctic Ocean along Russia's northern coastline will ensure faster goods deliveries between Europe and the Far East, if Europe will cooperate. The second will be, but they will, because they will buy the Chinese stuff. So if they buy stuff from China, they will have to use the Russians there because they will provide their own fleet. And if they're going to provide an own fleet, what are they going to do? You're going to lose money as a company going around, India and Suez and channel, the Mediterranean, and then no, you're not going to go to Rotterdam. You're not in the Netherlands. You're not going to do that. You're going to go north. And you go north and you're going to save, I don't know how many, it's outrageously how much you can save as a company, transport company, just by choosing their northern corridor than going around south. They've been working on that, but the other guys, anyway. The second will connect Russia's northern and Baltic ports with the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean, facilitating cargo movement between Eurasia and African nations. And I'm quoting Putin here. We are consistently increasing fuel, food, and fertilizer supplies to the states of the global south and actively contributing to the global food and energy security. He blamed the current international food crisis of the West's unilateral sanctions, describing them as, quote-unquote, unlawful. And I'm quoting, illegitimate sanctions seriously weighed on the international economic situation, and the unlawful freezing of sovereign states' assets constitutes a violation of free trade and economic cooperation rules. Well, they're doing something about it. They are. So the resource deficit, all right, Moscow is represented in Johannesburg by Sergei Lavrov. Putin chose not to attend the event after the decision by the International Court to issue a warrant for his arrest in March. The court based the order on Ukraine's allegations. South Africa is a signatory of the Rome Statute, the ICC, and the US and its allies has pressured it to detain Putin should he travel to the country. Moscow has repeatedly denied the ICC's allegations and stressed that it does not recognize the court's authority, declaring the warrant legally null and void. Although South African President Cyril Ramaphosa repeatedly stated he would not carry out the order, claiming it would amount to a declaration of war, Moscow ultimately decided to send Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to the BRICS summit to represent Russia. So now that is, I think, flexibility and diplomacy. He didn't want to create problems for the South African counterparts yet. Why? Because the South Africans are not necessarily with both legs on this side, and the other guys can still hurt them. But time will come when Ramaphosa will, even though he said we're not going to arrest him, but Russia played, and I don't think it's a good thing to leave the country while you are at war like this, because, you know, when you leave the house unattended, you have weasels who don't want you back. They will force you to stay out. Anyway, I don't know if that's the case, but usually that's what happens. I don't know if that's all in Putin's situation, but nevertheless, that's a serious problem for the US and the US dollar, obviously. If these guys continue, and it's irreversible, that means they will continue to work on that. How the US reacts to that, how they reacted to Saddam and Gaddafi, when they said they're going to switch to euro instead of dollar. Where are they now? I think they met Allah a little bit sooner than they anticipated, right? Unfortunately for the Iraqis and for the Libyans, whomever, they got now democracy and freedom. How is that working for you? That's it, my friends. Putin hit them where it hurts, really bad. So I don't know. They're gonna try to assassinate him or something. I don't know. But if they succeed, I don't know. Then you're gonna have a lot of big problems on this planet. I hope they don't do this kind of garbage. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.